Yeah, this is the updated Santa link, isn't it? Where they made it where the first mail wasn't red.
Is it?
I think on Axe
Oh,
side,
yeah. Oh, nice. Is that one officially out, or is that... Because I know you can, like, grab custom sprites and, like, kind of load them in. But it has to be out, right? Because you're not really allowed to use
I think it's
sprites.
I think it came out in 28.
Okay. Yeah, I very rarely stray from the Garfields, so...
Right.
But both players taking that same route, going to be going into grabbing that Houlihan, the 225 free rupees. Seems like a good play to me, as always.
Both players managing to get the trick where you don't have to go up to the top of the screen and reset it. I still haven't managed to get that pixel.
Oh, and ChauncyJay with the slightly more optimal coin collection. Oh, but Act takes the lead back immediately. Oof. And just like that, we're seconds apart. And there's a small key too. Castle.
This does not bode well.
Oh, that's the worst one to see right off the bat. But this is an interesting route. Looks like Act is going to be checking what's on Lake Hylia, as well as probably buying some bombs, and might be making that route over to Sahasrara and Eastern Palace, or at least Sahasrara.
Yeah, that is a possibility here. Eastern Palace has several locations that the logic is just like, yeah, you can get this basically any time. What was that on the island? I missed it.
Just a big fiver.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, sometimes players like to opt to just get the immediate bombs if they have the money, and this is a route that players don't often take, so if he ends up popping into Eastern Palace and finding something useful.
There's a sword on the race game.
Ooh. That's a big one. It's a good thing to find.
Yeah. It would be helpful inside Eastern Palace. You don't really need a sword that bad in Eastern.
It's pretty nice to have something for like the dark rooms, but there's a red boomerang that can also work for those dark rooms. But it looks like he's going to opt to save and quit out of there. We also got information that Desert Palace will be our green pennant for today. Desert Palace is a pretty interesting dungeon because of the amount of things that require to get to it and to complete it. So we've seen if we'll end up seeing that green pennant or not in this race.
Yep, so Ack is now heading down to the South Shore area. We're going to see the dam, possibly Mini Moldworm. He could go off to Agnes Cave if he wants to, but I don't know.
Yeah, we've seen... He's already brought out one different route option. He might opt to go straight to Agnes Cave. A lot of players like to save... Well, let's see what he does. But yeah, a lot of players like to save the South Shore, Lake Hylia area for when they have at least, Moon Pearl or Rupees for Zora.
Yeah, I used to consider Agnes Cave as basically part of Desert Palace, but I got burned by it so many times. I'm like, no, it's one of those Sphere Zero locations. I just gotta see it occasionally.
For sure. Hey, another small key too. Turtle Rock. All right. So that's one of the 4 Turtle Rock small keys that you can find out in the wild. Of course, you only really need 3 to route through the entire dungeon, missing 1 chest, but 4 is the max keys that you can get. And
assuming you have to beat it, you need 3. If you don't have to beat it, is the technical term.
Got some good bomb strats going, and one of the mini Moldorns dropping off a bomb, and the Bottle Vendor only holding a dungeon map to Swamp, but that is good information to have. Ack bringing out that red boomerang, putting it to good use, grabbing that big 20.
Yeah, you know what wasn't good information to have? The map of Hyrule Castle and the Chicken Hut.
Yeah, that was pretty useless. Speaking of useless, this mini Moldorn cave had absolutely nothing of value. Maybe a few extra bombs is nice, but Bombos in the bottom of the well for Chauncey. Good find.
Bombos time. Excellent.
Another useless map.
There's that other useless map. Woo!
And other than Bombos, Bomb of the Well not really showing up either. So, interesting to see. We got 2 different routes, but neither route is really giving us that immediate progression that we're probably looking for. But that sword is very nice for Chauncey.
Yep, and in a pinch, you can put that Bombos to good use with that sword.
Oh yeah, that's true. It'd be interesting to see if that's used for like mini Moldorm Cave. Oh, there's the flippers.
Whoo. Yeah, mini Moldorm with bombos sounds like fun.
Just need to find a little bit of magic along the way. Anything else in Blind's basement before we head on up to Lost Woods? Just a heart container, but at this time, you know, any heart container is good. Only at 4 hearts is not good. 5 hearts, still not good, but better.
I will take all of the hearts that I can at this point. Because in the back of my mind, my brain is going, I'm going to have to kill Mothula soon. And I'm going to die.
Yeah. Oh, man. Mothula, Fighter Sword, 5 hearts, Green Tunic. I mean, we're nowhere near that point, but just the thought of that is... it's like a nightmare. Let's find out what we're going to find in Lost Woods. Interesting that Axe taking this route despite having bombs, but... maybe... I don't know. Doesn't really matter. There's no right or wrong way to route it.
Alright, so we've got a small key to Turtle Rock.
So that is our second one.
Yeah, in the Lost Woods. That is, you know, there's a lot between here and Turtle Rock, but the more keys you have, the more indicative it is that you're going to have to do it.
Looks like ChauncyJay, with that sword in hand, going to be heading up to visit the uncle, as well as take out, or go through Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, I kind of have this thought in my mind that he's like, I can pick up some magic in the uncle's tunnel and then use bombos to kill the mini Moldorms. That's what my brain would be thinking.
Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking about, did Chauncey didn't do Secret Passageway yet, right?
He did not.
Okay, so hopefully this is not going to be that big mistake 7 minutes into the run that like immediately loses you the race. Because if you're not going to check Uncle, well, there's the flute. If you're not going to check Uncle on the way to Hyrule, when the heck are you going to go check it?
When you have the mirror and you're checking the pyramid.
I guess.
But that's some wishful thinking right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about this. We got flippers to check Hobo, Waterfall Cave, and get what's on Zora's Ledge. And now we have the flute to get up to Death Mountain to check a few things up there. I would probably take the flute, or the flippers route first. But you kind of want to have a little bit more rupees so you can route in Zora at the same time.
Yeah. The flippers route does seem better, mainly because right now on Death Mountain there's only like one thing in the logic, and only 2 that you can actually get.
Nice blue mail found in Hyrule Castle. Act picking up his Bombos medallion. We'll see what he opts to do next after finishing out Lost Woods. Looks like setting up for a death warp. Gonna go probably through the dark rooms. The dock sewers. See what we can find in there. Gotta be careful. There's nothing worse than trying to set up a death warp and then take a death a little too early.
I'm like, Chauncey's being extremely confident in his sword abilities here.
I don't think spins do any extra damage on this guy.
They do not. At least not fighter sword spins.
Oh, and
Master
a big
sword
key.
spins do.
Thieves down big key. That's a good find.
Wow, so that's actually really interesting. Because 1, that's not in the logic.
What's not in the logic?
The Zelda Cell. You need the small key to Hyrule Castle. That one and the chest before it. If you don't have that, they're not in the logic.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Because you could steal the key from the guard and go the other.
Right. Kind of like how Landmos is required to have the Desert Palace small key in order to beat, just so it avoids that soft lock.
Right.
Some of these little key intricacies is interesting to think about, but good for Chauncey remembering that uncle, or maybe that was just their route the entire time to take a death warp and then save and quit there, so you don't have to backtrack. So, good option.
Yep. So ChauncyJay, I think, will be shortly activating everybody's favorite bird. I may have something prepared. So, on that note, would everyone please rise for the presentation of our national colors? In the land of Hyrule, there's just one dude who's cool. Let me take you to school, so you're not stuck. Zora steals all your cash. The sick kid gives you a rash. All the others are trash, except for Swag Duck.
It's pretty good. It's good. It's good. It's real good. Wouldn't you have time to write that one up?
Literally in the 10 minutes before we started.
It's good. It was good. It's really good. Anyway, Hobo dropping that big stack of 300 rupees. That'll be just what we need to go visit Zora, and let's see if he does in fact suck.
Why is the hobo living under the bridge if he's got that kind of money to be handing out?
Dude, maybe he doesn't need money to be happy. Maybe he just needs his bridge. So he's like, hey man, I don't really need this. I got everything I need. That's how I look at it.
There's that.
He's a hobo by choice. Ooh, Ack. Was so close. I mean, he does have the flipper, so it's not like an instant death if he was fake flippering, but still. You kind of forget about that, and you see that fireball coming at you. That's terrifying.
Small key to Gen's tower in the waterfall. Yeah, I was worried too, and then you said, oh, he's got the flippers.
I always love the fake flippers. That's always the best. When you set up the fake flipper, but you had the flippers the whole time. Love it.
Aw, no Bombo strats. Sad day.
I think it probably has just enough magic to do it.
Yeah,
but that's
exactly
okay.
enough.
But yeah, still opting to use sword instead of bombs. That one over there. A little bit slow, but works just as fine. Probably be about the same amount of time as using bombos. Speaking of bombs, there's some bombs from Zora. Thanks. That was not worth it. Now, I wonder if this small key ends up being like a Skull Woods or Mire. I can't imagine Ack would like reset after this. Nope. Castle Tower. Gross.
Castle Tower number 2. That's kind of sneaking up on you.
We haven't seen the lumberjack check yet, have we? I don't think so.
No.
I think both players saved and quit out of the thieves drop down in Lost Woods.
Yeah, neither player had any intention of checking that cave.
Yeah, most players like to put it off until they have the boots, at least. Or, sometimes you can have the mirror and you can route in checking that when you go check, like, Bumper Cave or whatnot.
If I get a Castle Tower key in Link's house, I'm definitely checking it. That's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would have saved a bunch of time in my race yesterday had I checked it earlier. Because it ended up being a required big key.
Gross.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But it was fine. Alright, well. Looks like Chauncey's going to be making the same play into the Zora's area. So at this point, the only thing we really have left is Eastern Palace, Agnes Cave, and the few things we could see in Death Mountain. So, kind of running out of ideas of what we need to do next. Be curious to see if Ack decides to also Death Warp, but to check the sewage chest.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility. The dark escape room there is it's a room that a lot of people will forget if you don't get it while you're here the first time.
Oh man, those guards are really angry on that bridge. Well, this is interesting. We're nearly 15 minutes into the seed, and we still don't have any way of getting to the Dark World. Not even, like, a hint. No glove, no hammer, no moon pearl. So, but 2 castle tower keys. So I'm kind of anticipating a lamp, another sword or cave. Maybe we'll even get the glorious moon pearl on pyramid.
Could happen. So we see Acktheboker pick up the blue mail there in the boomerang chest in Hyrule Castle basement, which we saw Chauncey pick up a while ago as well. I'm just, you know, trying to make sure the chat knows that that's where the blue mail is. And there's the big key of Thieves Town once again.
I still can't even... My mind is not processing this whole needing a small key for that item. That's weird. But makes sense.
Well, I mean...
So that Hyrule Castle small key has a little bit more value than people give it credit for.
Yeah. It doesn't really make that much difference, because you're probably going to check that anyway.
Right.
But
a lot of people like to, when they play, they like to try and think exactly, like, what's the logic telling me to do? So when you get an item there, you'd be like, well, I shouldn't actually have this yet, technically, so...
And so you actually feel, the other thing about it is you might put off doing Thieves Town until you find that key, because that would indicate that the back might have something. So it just...
True.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like of all the sequence breaks...
I mean, you're probably gonna...
That one's probably the safest one to make.
Yeah. And you're
probably a lot of
probably
players
gonna
like
find the... You're probably going to find that Hyrule Castle key soon. It does seem likely.
And speaking of sequence breaks, Ack making the old man rescue in the dark. That's another one of the sequence breaks that are usually pretty safe to make, is the dark rooms. And by safe, I mean, like, you're not going to throw off your whole routing from, like... Because you know how, like, if you sequence break and then it sends you down, like, the wrong path, quote-unquote? These ones are usually pretty good, because it's like, well, maybe the lamp is just sitting in Eastern Palace or something.
Yeah. And with the way this seed is shaping up, we could easily see the lamp in, you know, some Sphere Zero locations that need nothing important. Oh boy, there's the second sword upgrade.
Alright, we're a lamp away.
Now I just want it to be in Spectacle Rock Cave.
I mean, that'd be perfect. Flute to get lamp. It makes sense. It checks out. It happens quite often. Yeah, because this Death Mountain is in logic because of that flute, so... Just a heart piece, and Ack gonna go ahead and...
Wow, just YOLO.
Go straight for it, yeah.
I mean, just like you YOLO the race game, and if you're not going anywhere else, you know? Oh my goodness!
There it is! Well, now the question is the Moon Pearl on the pyramid, is it in Tower, or is it sitting somewhere in Eastern Palace? But
I mean, at this point, I just do Aghanim. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's in Keysanity. If oh, there's the hook shot. Well, that opens up a lot in Death Mountain.
Oh,
so
that changes a lot.
That changes quite a bit. That's a lot of items you can find now. Just the heart piece, and Ack gonna go ahead and check what's in Agha's cave. I still feel like you want to do your, you want to be diligent and check some more Light World stuff before you commit to that Aga play. Of course, in Keysanity, it's a lot more valuable because those items in Aga Tower are actually potentially useful. But at the same time, like, this could be all just a red herring. Let's go Woods. Like, Glove and Hammer and Moon Pearl could be sitting in Paradox Cave. You never know.
There's that. So, Skullwoods. The Skullwoods key is an interesting proposition as well. If you find another one lying around, the seed is kind of telling you Mothula is a thing.
because there's only 2 Skullwoods keys out in the wild, and then there's that one that's always set up in that one room, just so people don't have to save and quit out.
I found out that if you're using the customizer, that's not always the case.
Oh yeah, I also found that out by mistake when doing a daily race, and there was a bottle in there. I was like, wait, what? And then,
whoops.
Oh, there's the powder, so...
Oh, well, now we're in business.
We know where the lamp is, so that's a sequence break for Chauncey, but as a whole, it's not anymore, now that we know where that lamp is. Of course, powder doesn't really do anything for us yet, but just one more extra check we'll be able to get as soon as we get a few more items in later.
Yeah, well, I mean, the powder just makes your life way, way better. That's just the rule.
Can powder these dad rocks.
If you have powder, your life is good.
Speaking of good, we got red mail as well in first chest of Eastern Palace. I missed that on Chauncey's side, but now we got the True Santa link, so that's good. Finally.
Yep, we're gonna get that hook shot over here. Which having the hook shot in this chest is actually like hilarious. Because a lot of people like to use the hookshot to get to this chest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, same. It's like mirror in Tower of Hera kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you like to mirror up to get up to Tower of Hera. Oh, guess what? You can't do that, sorry. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're going to find out what is going on over on East Death Mountain. We got a plethora of chests going on over there. I think, what, 8 maybe?
Yeah, 8 total.
5 in Paradox, 2 in One Below, and then 1 at Spiral. So, as well as getting information on that's the floating island, or Skyloft, as I've heard it's been called.
It's a good one. Now, of course, there is the possibility, if they find, say, the mirror or the hammer, that they could proceed up to Tower of Hera and check some things in there.
Sure. Of course, with only nothing, you'd only be able to check 2 items in Hera. I had to look down and see what was on the tracker before I made a statement.
Yeah,
but yeah,
items.
This is strange. Like, the seed has not only been not giving us many like big keys or small keys overall, just very little progression items. So a lot of times you'll see a seed will be very front-loaded with either items or keys, but this one is a little bit of nothing. Ooh, and ChauncyJay was trying to set up for that nice little bomb jump there. At this point, I would just save and quit out and go back to Uncle, because walking all the way back here is going to be a lot slower.
It's a little bit of a tricky bomb jump, but it's actually not that difficult.
It's super easy. The only problem is buffering to get close to the edge. It's same with bomb jumps. Like, it's a lot easier when you have the boots.
The great thing about it is you're moving down, so you can actually move 1 pixel at a time if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're moving up, you start with 2 pixels of movement. It makes me sad.
Well, speaking of actually having nothing to do with it, interesting that after all that, our players are practically synced up at this point.
Wow. The sync is real.
And ChauncyJay making a little bit of a mistake going up the stairs as opposed to falling down the hole. So excited about Paradox Cave. And not looking too good so far, but we still got 5 more chests and then Spiral Cave to go check.
So the only advantage Ack has right now is the Skullwood small key, which for practical purposes is just a slight routing convenience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the glove. 2 more items to go. There's the pearl. Oh my gosh. All right, well, at this point,
hammer or glove in Spiral Cave, yeah. Just to be like, get trolled. You don't have to do Aga.
Oh, they're gonna have to do Aga, no doubt. I mean, when you see Hookshot before you see Moon Pearl, and you have the Castle Tower keys, yeah, because the whole Hookshot across Broken Bridge, whatever, is such a it's an obvious route. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. But at this point, I can't be. Yeah, it comes down to this chest. That's it.
Have we seen Back of Escape?
No, we haven't. So that's 3 more chests coming up as well. And, you know, there's always the chance that we'll just find the hammer in the first chest of Acktheboker, and then they can just bail out of there.
There's that.
Big key to ice. All right.
I mean, I like having the Ice Palace big key.
Yeah, we've actually seen a couple races that have come down to players sequence breaking Ice Palace by completing it using the bomb jump without getting the big key, and then, of course, finding the big key later, and then something in the big chest being required. So it's nice to get that one out of the way, because then you don't have to worry about that. It's just nice to get any of the big keys out of the way.
Chauncey's gonna be checking that Agnes Cave.
Big key to east. Oh, and Quake. All right.
So, does that go back into Eastern, or does he bite the bullet and go to Aga?
I would bite the bullet at this point. That's a long way back just to check one more item. When he's got 2 more items coming up in Aga Tower. It's just, it's a matter of chest density at this point. 2 to 1. And you have all the stuff you need to do Dark World stuff, so you'd be silly to go back to Eastern Palace. Yeah. But if Eastern Palace ended up being like the hammer or the mitts, I would laugh. Would laugh quite a bit. We also do have the sewer chest as well that neither player has checked yet. And with that lamp in hand, it's going to be a little bit easier.
Yeah, that could also be a thing. So there's actually 3 items over here.
Yeah, Ack with just a slight lead. Matter of seconds at this point, which of course there's really nothing to think about. Taking a snake to the face, and we get a heart container. Nice. All right, well, the downside of having red mail early when you're wanting to do these death warps is you can't. you just can't. It just takes too long.
Yeah. There's not enough death in that room.
Mm-mm. You need like a spike or a blade trap or a spike or whatnot to take a full heart off of you every time. Now, if this was Randomizer, different story.
Oh, please. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in chat. You should randomize where the items are in the inventory.
That's a terrible idea. I love it. We'll talk to the devs about that. That could easily be an Randomizer thing. Since
I mean, they've already got Pot Shuffle.
Yeah, I feel like the wackier suggestions go to the enemy shuffle program. So that one would be perfect. Alright, Ack using his Quake medallion to kill these guys a little bit quicker. Now, I believe out of the 3 medallions, Quake is the fastest one, or the one with the fastest animation.
By far.
And it's also useful to know that there are certain enemies that just insta-die from the Quake medallion. Like that first room in Ice Palace, if you don't have the hook shot, you just use that Quake medallion to take out all of them. Just got to make sure that they're not in a jumping animation, otherwise it doesn't hurt them.
Yeah, I tried the Ether medallion on the other day. It doesn't work quite as well. It does freeze them.
But then you gotta go kill them or smash them with the hammer.
I got the hammer. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna...
I mean, you could also... destroys these things. You could kill them with each other. That's also an option.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
good old-fashioned lift and throw strats, yeah. So... yeah. We've got Ack and Chauncey both making the play on Aga Tower now. We are all figuring that Aga is now required for Dark World access.
Oh, for sure. And with the 2 items actually in Aga Tower being just a big 20 and a heart piece, it's like, ugh. It's no good.
Yeah. Now, we can't necessarily expect something directly on the pyramid. because we've got that moon pearl, that means there are a lot more places to check.
Yep,
and the hook shot, of course.
We'll be able to walk up by the broken bridge, and then either they could swim up it, but there's no point when you already have the glove. You can just lift up the rock and then hook shot across, and then all of a sudden, there you go. Skullwood, Steve's Town. You could route all the way down to Hype Cave if you want as well. It'd be interesting to see what these players decide to do. I can kind of imagine that both of them are just going to follow the same path. You know, do everything along the way. Skullwoods, then probably do all of Thieves Town, maybe. All right, but at this point, we got to get some guesses from you guys in chat. How many blue balls do you think we're going to get today? I'm feeling the usual 3. I feel like 3 is like a safe bet. It's a good standard.
I feel like being nice. I'm going to go for 1.
Well, let's find out. We'll probably end up getting 2 or something. $100? That sounds like...
100 means that somebody had a seizure or something.
It sounds like a Plando right there.
So far, just the 1 in the first round. We know we're going to get lightning here. All right, 1 more hit'll do it. And there it is.
1. Good call.
Yep, apparently my sixth sense for prognostication is working.
Your spidey sense?
Huh. Yeah, you could call it that.
Alright, let's see what we're going to find on the pyramid. Anything of value? It is a small key.
I'm thinking pod.
I'm thinking swamp. Cannon's
GT.
I hate that key. It's so useless. Well, it's not useless until we find the GT big key. What was interesting?
The text box didn't appear around that text.
Yeah, that seems to happen right after you beat Aga, when you get a small key, or maybe it just has something to do with. No, I think that's it. I've seen it before.
It also happens in the lumberjack cave. When you pick up a key.
Interesting.
It's very strange.
To the bug reports. We're going to be seeing our catfish play. So it doesn't look like anyone, or at least Ack, is certainly not going to be making that early pod dive. It'd be silly, because you can only check the first chest.
Without a key, without the bow, it feels not good. But it could be a thing. I have seen a seed where, like, the Titan's mitts were that chest. Mm-hmm. Had no pod keys or anything.
Oh, yeah. Dungeon map to Terrafera. All right, that's good. A little bit extra information once we get back to the light world.
Information.
We, as of right now, only know 1 dungeon item. It's Desert Palace Green Pendant. That's it. The only dungeon maps I think we've gotten have been useless ones, like Hyrule Castle and Ganon's Tower. So,
yep.
I think that was our first useful dungeon map.
Hey, at least now we know where Ganon's Tower is. This is... I keep forgetting, this isn't Entrance Shuffle. No, I'm kidding. Well, Entrance Shuffle is one of Ack's big pastimes, actually.
Yeah, they're... him and his little gang of minions always playing the Entrance Shuffles, or the new Crossworlds Super Entrance Rando, which I've partaken in, and it's pretty ridiculous. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. I've done one, and I got a little over 5 hours.
That sounds about right. And then it's like, I didn't know this place existed, is usually what it comes down to.
Yep.
But we only saw bombs on Bumper Cave, so we won't be coming back to check out that. And at this point, we still, We still haven't seen the Lumberjack Cave, but at this point, without the boots, there's really no reason to even, like, think about it yet.
Right. Yeah, the reason you had to do Agatha's Seed was for just Dark World access. If it happens that the Lumberjack Cave is important, they'll cross that bridge when they get there.
And that's the nice thing about... We make fun of Skullwood's small keys, but it is really nice for routing out this dungeon when you're first coming here, because you don't have to do the drop-down.
We did also pick up a bottle in the...
A green goo.
In the southwest chest there.
And our first one.
So that means the sick kid is now in the logic.
Yeah. No Canis Maria, so you can't do this the easy way. You gotta do it the normal way. Of course, I always, at least when I'm playing NMG, will swap to my beautiful boomerang to stun those Gibdos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would pull out that red boomerang, because he's got it.
Oh,
wow. Oh!
Oh! He just barely missed getting grabbed. He's like, oh, nope, sorry, I'm out of here. But hey, Titan Mitts right there, so...
I'm not entirely certain getting grabbed wouldn't have been faster.
Saves you from having to push the statue. But we have the Titan Mitts, which at this point unlocks chunks of Ice Palace. We don't have the hammer yet, so we can't do all of it, but we do have the big key for Ice Palace, so we could like do a crazy route to the big chest.
Yeah.
Dark World, Death Mountain as an option. We also have easy way back into the Dark World via Village of Outcasts portal. Still looking for that hammer, of course.
Yeah, if I came into Ice Palace without the hammer, I might not even do the bomb jump, just because it would potentially make it easier to get to Ice Tea Chest, which is also in the logic.
Ooh, I think the statue is too far to the left. It's not going to work. Chauncey's going to have to push it back out and push it over.
Yeah,
it's
that
kind
is
of frustrating
unfortunate.
how it doesn't like line up. Oh, there's the mushroom. You'd think that the little things on the sides have like a hitbox, so it would like narrow it into the pathway you want.
Not really, unfortunately. So Ack is actually heading straight for the digging game, just bypassing Thieves Town entirely. Which we discussed a little while ago, that Thieves Town Big Key not being in the logic. So maybe he's thinking about that. I don't know.
I don't know, that seems like one of those obscure things that not many people even know about. Heck, I didn't even know about it. But then again, I don't really pay attention. Hey, Big Key, what do we got? Tower of Hera, which we still do not have access to, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the back shelf. We'll think about it later.
Yeah, and Ack is now heading back up. So yeah, this seems interesting. Is he going to do the Smith? No. Okay.
Well, it seems he has missed he didn't do everything in Village of Outcasts because there was a Ice Palace small key in the chess game.
Oh.
So...
that's actually very intriguing.
Yeah, especially with the Mitts and the Big Key already. Well, let's see if either player decides to hop into Thieves Town. I think it's very worth it, at least to go ahead and check the first four, and it looks like Ack will be making that play.
Yeah. And it's not the sort of, even knowing that that's not in the logic, I would definitely be checking the first four of Thieves Town.
I would... Oh, and there's our last medallion, so that's one thing we don't have to worry about this seed. I'd probably just go ahead and finish this dungeon anyway.
Yeah, probably.
We don't even have the small
key
here to check the big chest along with the hammer, so they'd have to come back regardless.
Another bottle.
But yeah, that's not a fun chest to have to come back to later on in the seed.
Yeah. The other thing is the small key, again, is another one of those weird situations where there's less in the back that's unlocked by the big key than you think, because the attic chest, the big key chest, and Blind himself are technically locked behind the small key.
Mm-hmm. Just to avoid soft locks.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, the big key only unlocks the chest next to the maiden.
The thing is, like, when you're thinking about breaking the logic, it could be as simple as, like, well, the Thieves Town small key is, at Lumberjack. Or not Lumberjack, at the Blacksmith's, or it's sitting in Hype Cave, something...
Right.
It could be, like, just right next door.
That's absolutely true. And when I say, oh, well, the logic says blah, 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 and you shouldn't... That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means you should keep that in mind, because that bit of information might be helpful later on.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Heck gonna be going either. I'm assuming he's in it to win it, so he's gonna go ahead and finish this entire dungeon. I can't imagine Chauncey not doing the exact same thing. It just seems like the right play to do, especially because it's our first dungeon we can actually complete. So, and even if it drops a pendant, that's still information. Like, we'll still have that information out of the way. Like, okay, well, now I'm just looking for one more pendant, and then I know what I need to do. Sweet bomb refill right there. But yeah, I know personally, at least when I'm playing open or standard mode, every time I go into Thieves Town without the hammer, there's always something in that big chest. And it's always the flute. Why is it always the flute?
Because the world is out to get you.
Seems fair.
There's just a little piece of code in the background of the world that just says, Willard gets screwed by Thieves Town big chest.
Oh, and there's that Swamp Palace small key. I could easily see Vitorp doing that, I'm gonna have to talk to him.
Goodness, the Swamp Palace small key in the one chest that is available due to the Thieves Town big key. So now, the whole of Swamp is locked behind finding the small key to Hyrule Castle.
Huh.
Which, for hilarity's sake, will be in the first chest of Swamp.
We can only hope. Alright, well, at least we do finally get our first boss fight, and this boss, pretty straightforward. There's apparently a script. Ack is off script right now, but, everybody has their own way of playing the game, whether it's right or wrong. And also opting to take a lot of extra hits just because he can. But there goes Blind, and dropping a dungeon map to Misery Mire, so there's our pendant, so we got some sweet information. Thank you, Blind.
Yep. So, the whole Mire, or the whole script for Blind, I find that the script, quote, scripted fight is basically a little different for everybody. It's just whatever you're used to doing.
As long as you have fun and don't die, that's all that really matters. But it looks like we are going to be getting that beautiful frog tour from Ack. Without the mirror, he can't quickly return the blacksmith to his home, so he's going to have to take him all the way down to Hype Cave. And we'll probably get a check from the bomb salesman to find out what our crystals 5 and 6 are. Nice little piece of information. Small key 2, please be Thieves Town. Aw.
Desert Palace. Yeah, I think the Thieves Town small key is going to be in Ganon's Tower.
So, are you saying that I don't know.
I'm saying that
it's going to be in Ganon's Tower. That's it. That's all the information. All right, we're going to find out what our crystals 5 and 6 are.
Well, just the idea is that it's a pendant, so it's not required that you get the small key.
Tower of Hera and Palace of Darkness.
Interesting.
Well, we do have that big key for Tower of Hera, but no way to get there yet. And Pod, we've got nothing. We have absolutely nothing. So,
based on what I've seen so far, it seems unlikely that the Pyramid Fairy has anything, just because we've seen nothing to get us into Pod yet.
Well, there's a big key too, Turtle Rock. We got the Cane of Samaria.
Whoa.
Nice little heart piece. And the Ice Rod.
Is this the Turtle Rock care package? Is that
Seriously?
what's going on here?
Wow. It's incredible. It's like a little mini T-Rock right there.
They've already got all the medallions. I kind of feel like a dip into Turtle Rock is the move.
Well, they still need to find that hammer at some point if they want to make that play, but as soon as they do, I could easily see that being done.
I forgot about the hammer.
Especially if you want to decide to route in Dark World Death Mountain first. But Ack gonna finally turn in that mushroom, which he got in Village of Outcasts. Let's see if that has any value. He already has the powder, so he doesn't have to worry about that silly powder glitch.
Yep, very true. And so we're just going to flute over to 3, turn in that blacksmith. Oh, check Sick Kid as well. Very, very important check.
Big 20. Gosh, I would love it if the hammer was in Eastern Palace Big Chest the whole time.
Oh my goodness, that would be...
That would be hilarious. The scene for the ages.
Now, I like it when the mirror is on the blacksmith.
Oh, yeah. Because saving and quitting with the blacksmith is just... It's awful. It's not optimal. I mean, at least he has the flute, but hey, we got a small key to Pod. That's our first Pod small key. So, Pod, suddenly on the board.
Yep, so now there are 3 chests in Pod that you can access by the logic. Yeah, and actually, to be fair, 3 chests in Pod you can access, period.
Now, what would be super convenient for Ack is if he found that mirror over in Hookshot Cave. Because then he could walk right on over and do Tower of Hera using that mirror. But,
yeah, and and then he found, say, the hammer in Tower of Hera. And then he could go to Turtle Rock.
Oh boy. How far can you get with only 2 keys in T-Rock? You can get...
Laser Bridge. You have to steal a key, but you can get there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, logic wants you to have 3, but you know.
I had to do the math. Alright, Super Buddy Cave, what do you got for us today? The hammer!
Oh,
there it is!
There it is!
Beautiful. Well, unless they find the mirror, we won't be seeing a dip into T-Rock yet, unless Ack decides to save and quit and go right back up the mountain. But that hammer unlocks a bunch of stuff, and I don't know, you gotta be thinking Ice Palace is looking pretty good right now.
Chauncey is not happy with the peg next to the magic bat. He kind of took out a little frustration on it.
Anything in Hookshot Cave? It looks like nothing. So, Ack, what do you do? What do you do at this point?
I actually feel like going back to Death Mountain is the play. Because you have the hammer, now you can clear Hera.
That is,
might go to ice.
That is true. Well, that unlocks...
He's going ice.
You can do all of ice now. You can check the peg caves, get into T-Rock, so got a few good options, but it looks like Chauncey's going to be going into the mire area. Can't do too much here. Check the 2 chests in the mire shed. Doesn't really need to check the medallion since we already have all 3. So this is just a 2-item check. But if this ends up being like the mirror, then that unlocks Desert Palace. Yeah, I'd be pretty confident going into Ice Palace at this point. You only have Bombos, but you do, I believe, have a green and blue potion. And there's the book.
Ooh.
And a big key to Skullwoods.
Skullwoods, all right. So that unlocks one item. Now, Ack also has the big and a small key of Ice Palace, along with the Cane of Samaria. So the whole thing is in the logic as well.
Oh, and it looks like Chauncey is going to be diving into Meyer. Does have the Cane of Samaria, but does not have the Meyer big key. So, fortunately, we'll not be able to finish the dungeon or check the big chest. But there are a good chunk of items in here. Only other problem, though, is without a fire source, that locks two other items in here. So, in my opinion, not a very optimal play at this point. But,
however, those two items in particular are also in the logic behind 3 Meyer small keys. So you can also kind of feel okay that that might not be that big a deal. Don't even ask me why I know that.
Did you look it up?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. That's why. That's why you know it.
Digging through the code, just trying to look for an edge here and there.
I don't know if having that information is be interesting to see if that any sort of information like that is actually useful. Because who knows? Like, well, there's that Hyrule Castle small key, so that unlocked a bunch of stuff.
So now Swamp is in the logic. Once you get the mirror.
But at the same time, it could be like, well, I shouldn't go into Meyer because things are blocked behind, 3 Meyer keys. So then you change your routing. But then the first chest in Meyer ends up being like the fire rod or, something.
Right. I always think that Meyer in general usually has a good play, except for those 2 chests on the left.
So at this point, Chauncey can check 2 more things. Going in here by mistake, no fire source, gotta bail. Oh, wait. I have a lamp. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh, I'll be right back. I need to step away, I'm an idiot.
Well, I mean, I didn't correct you, so I'm just as guilty. I don't know. I like Keysanity, but I'm a little bit of a masochist, so. Yeah, I was like, I think Chauncey's gonna miss the timing. Oh, and then barely gets it. Ooh, we've got the magic cape for Acktheboker. Which at this point cannot be required for much of anything except Spike Cave in the logic.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I did it dumb. What'd I miss?
Cape was in Ice Palace Freezor room.
Okay. So, nothing on Bumper, but that does unlock Spike Cave.
Yep. See, I thought you were just saying you'd be right back and that you were just joking.
No, I went to go get more coffee.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, I'm not getting any responses. What's going on?
Oh, there's a Meyer key in the big chest.
Well, that's a third of the way to unlocking those 2 chests on the left. Haha.
Haha. Alright, well, actually need a little bit more magic, which he's going to get here, so he can use that Bombos medallion, and then it's just Master Sword all the way. He might opt to use Hammer Strats as well. He does have that blue potion to keep himself alive, but I think he knows what he's doing.
He could also use the cape that he just picked up. Because, you know, cape strats. I doubt he needs it, but he can.
Oof. Huh, wow. I felt like those guys broke apart a little bit quicker than usual. That seemed weird.
It felt like he was a little late to me, so...
Ooh! Run! Run, Ack, run! Oh, God. Woo! Alright, that was scary. But he's not dead yet.
Yeah. I mean, red mail, they're still dealing 2 hearts of damage to you when they hug you, which is still nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, thankful for that blue potion.
Though, to be fair, it looks like Cold Stare himself might be something that just sneezed at you.
Alright. That was scary, but finishes him off. Just gets a blue rupee, but finally, at 56 minutes in, Acktheboker has received his first crystal. So there's that.
Well played.
Chauncey now making their way up to Super Bunny. Gonna be grabbing that hammer as well as... No, that was it. There was nothing else, I think, in here. Maybe a map. But let's see where Ack is off to next. This looked like a Tower of Hera play. Maybe Tower of Hera into Spike Cave? Nope, looting away. Where you off to, dude?
Probably, I'm thinking like...
Peg Cave, Purple Chest?
Peg Cave, Purple Chest, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Chauncey who picked up the big key of Skullwoods, right? That was in Mireshed, I think?
Yeah, that and the book. So... hopefully after turning in that Purple Chest, Ack heads over there, because it'd be nice to have that book prior to heading up to Death Mountain to go do, like, Hera and whatnot.
Yeah, very much so. You can get that ether tablet taken care of.
And we get to do the slow hammer pegs. No boots, so you can't do any hammer dashes. But we've seen boots here so many times in the past. And by so many, I mean a few. But still, it's always funny when that happens. Same with that hookshot in Eastern that you were talking about earlier. Picking up the chicken just for fun. Yeah, just a bomb upgrade. Chauncey, preparing for that Ice Palace play, grabbing a bunch of blue potions.
So one of the things with that peg room is, or the pegs there, is that it keeps track of the number of pegs you pounded down since you entered the screen in a variable. And so you can sort of pound some of them down, mirror out, come back and pound some others down, and the thing will open once you hit 22. I'm wondering if it keeps counting after that.
Can, like, overflow it?
Yeah, I wonder if I can, like, crash the game by pounding 65,558 pegs.
If you're willing to test it, I mean, by all means, go for it.
If anything, I would write a script to do it for me.
Well, that's just the cheap way of doing it, but fair enough. But it looks like Ack going to be heading into that Mire Shed, going to be getting his Skullwoods big key and the book. Curious to see if he decides to dive into Mire without that big key, as Chauncey did, or save and quit out to head up to Death Mountain. Yeah, looks like going to be popping into Mire.
Yep, seems quite likely. While ChauncyJay is heading into Ice. So we're seeing sort of a role reversal here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that bad of a play when you do have that fire source, so you're only going to end up missing out on the 2 items. And you never know, it's one of those things where it's like, I have the hook shot, so I can go into Mire, maybe the boots will be in here. It's one of those, it's the same thing where it's like, flute is hiding in Desert Palace, so you need the book to get the flute. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I do feel like the seed has been kind of screaming both Hera and Turtle Rock at them.
They do have the big keys for both of them. And that hammer did just unlock it, but it's one of those obnoxious things where it's like, I just got the hammer, and the game probably wants me to immediately go right back up to Death Mountain since I don't have the mirror. And it looks like Chauncey's not going to be doing the bomb jump here, which it's going to change the routing up a little bit. Unfortunately, not pink? Yeah. It'll work. Yeah, was there anything in Meyer other than, like, maps and stuff?
Not that I recall. So we'll see if Ack can light these torches in one go. It is a bit of a trick. There's a tight timing window here, but it is possible. Yep.
Yeah, I think those torches stay lit quite a bit longer than people think.
Yeah. Chauncey wasn't able to pull it off, but that's okay. So there was the map of Turtle Rock.
So yeah, at this point, we do have access to Tower of Hera, can kill Moldorm. We do know that that is a crystal as well. We're still looking for... Oh, apparently we know all of the information. Swamp Palace is the last pendant.
Yeah, we got the map of Swamp Palace. Apparently we had a map check that showed us that that was the case.
And of course, you know, it's a pendant, but you're only a mirror away from being able to check it. But who knows? This could be a mirrorless seed. It's very possible.
So the only important thing we found in Meyer was the Hyrule Castle small key, which puts Swamp in the logic.
How extremely useful.
I know. It's very great.
Curious to see if this is going to end up being like a mirror in GT scenario. But let's take a look at what items we still need to finish this game out. We need the bow, and we need the fire rod, as far as we know. That is the only things that we have left to get. We might not need the boots. We don't know what's at Lumberjack still.
I mean, we need the boots because there's something on Lumberjack.
You don't know
Not
that.
really. I don't know.
You don't know that.
Right.
Stop spreading lies.
I like to make bold claims and then stick by them even when they're wrong.
It's like the people that like to try and do the thing where right before every chest they say, and this will be the hammer, and then it's not, so then they wait a couple minutes and do it again.
Yeah. See, but when I do that, I say it's the Lamp and Spectacle Rock Cave, and what happens?
Did you say Spectacle Rock Cave, or did you say Spectacle Rock?
I said Spectacle Rock Cave.
Gonna have to roll the tape on that one. Alright, let's find out. I'm assuming Ack is gonna go ahead and do Tower of Hera. Tower of Hera and its Spike Cave seems like a good play. Yeah, it's also interesting that after getting the hammer, we did not get any more like extra items or things for like Tower of Hera or T-Rock. Ooh.
Interesting.
What is this play? Ack, what are you doing?
Ack's going for T-Rock without going to Hera first. That's very interesting to me.
Chauncey's sitting at 3.5 hearts, can take 2 more hits from these guys. Does have blue potions if things get even more dicey. Things have got dicey. Drops that blue potion. Switching to hammer strats. Oof. Taking a lot of these to the face.
Ooh, this is very.
Oh. Well, down to one.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
I would switch to the cape, or use your other blue potion. I think Chauncey bought 2. Yeah. Oh, one left. Oh no!
No.
So close. Oh, there's the GT Big Key at first chest of T-Rock.
Well, there we go.
So
Turtle Rock definitely important today.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be a Go Mode GT unless we're looking for swords. But yeah, that is extremely unfortunate for Chauncey, having to go all the way back through this dungeon. And what's even worse was he was like in the frame away from letting go of that spin to hit him again. And wow, that is actually a very interesting way of taking care of those pokies when you don't have the fire rod or the tempered sword.
Yeah, Bombos will do it.
Oh, he used ether and then smashed it with the hammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I hadn't
seen
been paying
that.
attention.
Yeah, Ack going to be taking quite a bit of a lead now with that death against Cold Stare. I want to say that Chauncey still has another bottle, but was probably trying to clutch it out there.
Yeah, it's possible. There's also...
I think it's still...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
There's also no actual reason to do the bomb jump here. If you've got the big key and a small key and the Cane of Samaria, you can just walk down to the boss room.
Nice Ice Palace bomb jump from Chauncey there. Down to 3 hearts, so don't really have room to make mistakes. And Ack, 3rd time's the charm, using that ether medallion to take out these pokies. I like that. It's really nice.
Aware of the fact that there's a small magic refill under that pot there.
So I'm assuming Bombos is the longest medallion animation.
Yeah. I believe so.
If it didn't have the secondary exploder animation, it might not be that long, but... Is there... We should get a... Oh, there's a useless map. I wonder if you could, like the fast menu, or quick swap, if we can have a fast medallion animation. Just instant. Though I don't really see much value in that at all. I'm just saying, what if? Nice half magic find.
Nice.
Would have been nice for Cold Stare.
I wonder what the odds that Spike Cave has something is now.
All right, Cold Stare versus Chauncey. Round 2, fight. Let's see how this one goes. Hopefully getting that spin into the corner. Yep. Not getting hit by the ice, getting a few more slashes in. Doing a lot more quicker damage, and stuck in the second corner. That's a new one.
Very well done.
Small key 2. That's another pod key, so that brings us up to 2. And already 1 Cold Stare puff down. Ack taking a laser to the face, falling down. Opting to use that cape. Ain't no time to deal with these lasers. Bomb upgrade. There's the fire rod.
In Turtle Rock.
300 rupees. So don't. Oh, he doesn't have a key. All right, so he has to leave. But
yeah, what he needs to do right now is take a death warp.
Yeah, because he needs to go check the first 2. We had a race yesterday that someone found, I think it was Fire Rod or something on the laser bridge, and then save and quit out, but had the key to go fight Trinex and had to go all the way back through and fight him again later. Still won the race.
Unfortunate.
But yeah, here's the interesting thing. Had you used that small key to check the middle chest, you would have missed out on that Fire Rod.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reasonable scenario in which you go for the middle chest there. Even though the logic says that neither of those moves is correct.
Speaking of moves, we got ChauncyJay taking down Cold Stare, so congratulations on that. On getting your getting the revenge, and then heading into Desert Palace. So we do have the small key to check the right side. This is a green pendant dungeon. We don't have the big key, nor do we have the boots, but we can at least get three items and information on one more.
Yeah, and if one of them is the boots, that'll help. Alright, so Ack makes his way backwards through Turtle Rock to go ahead and check the fire rod locked section.
Yeah, and with hookshot in hand, he could do it the faster way. Hookshotting downfall.
Am I the only one who's feeling Skull Woods at this point?
I mean, might as well. We haven't been back there to check the big chest either. And it is a crystal.
Ooh, another pod key.
So that brings us up to 3.
Now those pod keys, that one and the one on the laser bridge, are technically locked behind another Turtle Rock small key.
Since the logic wants you to open up that middle chest first, you need...
Well, it wants to make sure that you could.
Uh-huh.
And not, screw yourself out of those keys.
Right. All right, well, let's see. It looks like he's going to be heading his way over to Spike Cave at this point. Can't imagine why he'd be leaving out the front door otherwise. And looks like Chauncey's going to be making that play up to Death Mountain. Let's see if we'll get a Tower of Hera play from him.
So Ack, I think, is going to be heading for Spike Cave right now. Because that's basically the only reason he'd be heading this direction without the mirror.
Yeah, it looks like Ack's going to be heading over to Spike Cave now. Otherwise, he'd be saving equip. Where would he go to next? I mean, we could see the Skullwoods play eventually.
Ack was attempting to find a fairy in those 4 bushes. They all have a chance to spawn a fairy.
Yeah, it doesn't really need it when he does have that half magic. But still nice to save some of his magic for later. And we are going to see that Tower of Hera play from Chauncey. So if this ends up being like another T-Rock small key, or the mirror to check Mimic Cave, or both T-Rock small keys to go ahead and take out Trinex.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Here is the Ether Tablet. It's the mirror!
There it is! Wow! Good find.
Hot dang and a half.
Well, Ack gonna be... It's unfortunate that he missed out on that. I'm still kind of flabbergasted that he chose to do T-Rock over this, but at the same time, picking up that Fire Rod is really nice.
Yeah. And of course, the mirror may not actually be required.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
And if the mirror turns out to be not required, it could lead Chauncey down some rabbit holes that don't need to be, chased.
Like Olive Swamp.
Yeah, and then all those, Graveyard Ledge, Haunted Grove Ledge. There's the Thieves' Town small key.
Alrighty.
Alright, it was close to Gan's Tower. Wrong world.
Ish. We'll give it an ish. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which route plays out better for the logic. For routing. Which one's the more efficient? The nice thing about having that mirror is
Yeah, you can check. There's a couple things. One, you could check this. If you were Ack, you could check this first chest in Skull Woods without
having to backtrack.
Before going to Mothula, in case it's got, I don't know, the Tempered Sword.
Wait, I missed it. Did Ack check the big chest in Skullwoods?
I don't know. Did he?
Chat. Oh, and Chauncey taking a fall. Trying to set up that bomb jump. It's a little hard when you don't have the boots. You know what I need to pick up? I need to pick up that fancy little spin next to the edge to like line yourself up perfectly without falling in. I've seen that all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know how to set that up properly. I'm just really bad.
Oh, no, taking another fall. All right, Ack. Half magic, but only like maybe 2 uses left. Gonna be opting to use the Master Sword and Hammer strats.
Yeah, if you can land 4 good hits with the hammer, it's as good as the Tempered Sword, but it's much harder to land good hits.
Mm-hmm. He does have plenty of health and the red mail, so he can kind of tank a lot of these attacks. Yeah. But Mothula not giving him any good. There we go. Jeez.
And to be honest, when you're fighting Mothula with the red mail, you'd rather face tank hits from Mothula than the spikes.
Yeah, for sure. Because those will always do 1 heart of damage. There we go. Small key to Gansara. Lame. Yeah. If you're going to set up the bomb jump, I would always advise at least hitting one of the star switches so that you don't take a double fall if you mess it up. But with that hookshot in hand, you know, sometimes it's easier just to hookshot across and then fall down and walk back up.
Yeah, if you have the hookshot, there's no reason to set up the bomb jump the second way, or with the switch done. Because the only reason you do the bomb jump without the switch done in the first place is so you can just walk back across. So it's sort of a risk reward. If you get it right, you don't fall any floors. And if you get it wrong, you fall 2 floors. Whereas if you just do the hookshot method or the other bomb jump, a fall only costs you 1 floor.
Yeah, or sometimes players will just go up to the top and then fall down the vanilla way.
Yeah, which is also a single floor fall. So.
Yeah, well, Ack only finding a heart container in the second chest back of Skull Woods, and then having to walk all the way back to check this big chest.
Yeah, he was gonna have to walk all the way back anyway, so I think
well, it depends
okay.
on what he's. If he had gone Skull Chest or Big Chest first, he could have saved and quit out of Skull Woods.
Right.
It's depending on where he's heading off to next. Chauncey having a little trouble with the Moldorn fight, taking a fall already, but second try is the one that counts. Let's find out what we're gonna get from Moldorn. It's a big key to Pod.
Pod. Very nice.
Well, we know that 2 of the pod keys are what? What was it? Weren't they both in T-Rock?
Yeah.
So it looks like at this rate, Chauncey will be heading over to T-Rock. Might opt to do Spike Cave next. Let's see what they do.
Yeah. So what'd be interesting is if you saw the Turtle Rock small key in, say, Mimic Cave.
That'd be great. I don't know. So often I see T-Rock small keys in their own dungeon. Why, I'd say it cost me my 3rd round race, or was it 2nd round?
I think it was 2nd.
Yeah, because I went in with only 1 key. I was like, all right, or no, yeah, 1 key, and I was like, all right, I can get to Chain Chomp, and then I'm gonna bail out, and then I find a small key on the right side. And then I found another small key in the big chest. I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and beat this whole dungeon. And found absolutely nothing, so. Yeah, Chauncey with Mirror in hand. What play is this going to be? Mushroom, probably? I don't know if Chauncey's done the mushroom play yet.
Mushroom, they both did Catfish, but I'm not entirely certain that he made the Zora purchase.
Oh, North of Graveyard.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
This save and quit out of Spike Cave, because he had beaten Aga, forces him on top of the pyramid. So rather than, saving and quitting or mirroring, fluting to 3 and then walking back, just opted to take the scenic tour, the scenic route, which, I don't know, you'd have to time it. Don't know how much, probably would have been slower. I don't know. Whatever works. Still wishing these players had those boots at this point. But yeah, mirror in hand, opting to check these mirror locations. Let's see if that's where progression lies, or if mirror is just a big red herring. So far, big red herring.
Yeah, it's more like a blue herring at that point, but
I'd
we'll
say
take
so.
it.
Ack gonna be heading into Palace of Darkness. Now, unfortunately, without that mirror, he wouldn't be able to route this a little bit more efficiently. And with red mail and 14 hearts, death warps aren't really of the option, so...
Yeah.
Or at least not very convenient.
I imagine he'll be looking to save and quit out of the Dark Maze once he's hammer-yumped into there.
Yeah, it looks like it's one of those things when you play this game is you either have to, if you make a gamble, you have to either just keep playing off of that gamble. So Axe gamble was the T-Rock play over Hera. So he has to just keep playing from that aspect. As soon as he backtracks, he knows he's going to be losing time.
So the Ack is also one of the players that is known for having the twitchy finger, and might elect to try to get the chests in the bow log section without the bow. So that's a possibility.
I wasn't aware. How do you propose he does that?
Well, you hover around to the bottom of the ledge.
No, I know how it works, but how is he going to do it without the boots?
When he gets the boots here in the chest.
Okay.
Don't
Chauncey,
pay attention to me!
Chauncey going back into Thieves Town to check that one chest, so this could be the next big play. Well, there's a vanilla pod key. Gross.
Yep. Vanilla pod keys, they sneak up on you.
And that brings us up to 4 now. Which, if you had the bow, with bow and hammer jump, of course it's still missing the pod key, you'd be able to clear this whole dungeon without, and I guess mirror would also make it more convenient. You'd be able to clear this whole dungeon with only 4 keys, but unfortunately not having those items is going to make it a little bit harder.
I think Ack is now considering the possibility that a death warp might need to be in his future, and so he's like taking additional damage from things on the way. Or I could just be giving him too much credit.
Who, Ack?
Yeah.
I heard he's okay at this game.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Alright, so about to get some new information from both sides. Let's see what is in that Thieves Town big chest and if this is the required play. What are we going to find? It's going to be a shield.
Yep.
That's disappointing.
Shield not required.
Not only having to walk all the way back without boots, but rewarded with a very, very useless item. But at least when... Oh, big key to Meyer. Well, there's that.
Yeah, that helps out. So much actually still locked behind that T-Rock key, but it's at this point, I think we've gotten enough that you can just kind of throw the logic requirements out and just be like, I'm gonna get things.
Yeah, at this point, it's so hard to keep track of everything that's happened. You're just like, I'll just wing everything. We'll figure it out. Well, at least for ChauncyJay, having that small shield will save him from getting speared on his way into Swamp Palace if he decides to make that play. But yeah, for Ack's sake, he needs that mirror to not lead to anything. So far, it hasn't. We also need Ack to get this hammer jump, which looks like he did. Checking the big chest just for fun. It's that muscle memory, man. Every time. Or I guess it's faster than just pausing and checking to see if he does have the big key. I did put a request in that we get a big key icon on top of the HUD. It can go like right underneath the key icon, so you don't have to pause it to double check.
Yeah, wasn't there something in the works for, like, if you find the map in the dungeon, something to indicate whether it's a pendant or crystal without you going outside?
Yeah, they were making it so that the map, the actual dungeon map, when you bring it up, would show whether it's a crystal or pendant.
Neat.
So we'll see. B29, probably right around the corner. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of cool stuff in the works.
All right, so it looks like Ack is finally going to be heading up toward the Tower of Hera.
Wow. Well, that mirror's still not being useful. I mean, we still have Checkerboard Cave to check, but it looks like Chauncey might be going for the swamp play at this point.
There is that possibility.
You can do everything in there except check the big chest. Every time you put off Pendant Swamp, it somehow bites you.
9 locations, it just kind of feels good that you might want to get it. But at the same time,
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Ack decided to go to pod first, because now he's going to get his big key and be like, oh man, I could have had this earlier, and could have routed pod a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah. But I mean, in either case, he doesn't have the bow, so finishing it wasn't going to be on the table.
Alright, so at this point, where the heck is that bow? It's probably going to be in Swamp.
Yeah,
or on Vitreous.
Yeah, so what I'm looking out for right now, as we're going through, is the Desert Palace Big Key. If we see that, we may be in one of those mythical pedestal seeds where the bow could be there. And that's about as trolly as I could come up with.
It's not bad. We're still looking for a lot of items sitting around. Where was that GT Big?
First chest in T-Rock.
Yeah, okay. Chauncey hasn't made their way to T-Rock yet. That's why they don't have that. Or the Fire Rod. Or the Pod Keys. But who knows? If Chauncey can find the 2 other T-Rock small keys, he'd be able to go ahead and do all of T-Rock in one go.
Yeah, that would feel pretty good.
Yeah.
And at that point, what you do is you've picked up the Fire Rod on the laser bridge, so you go kill Trinex, you get put outside, and then you can go do the right side.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a nice little thing you can, instead of having to backtrack like Ack had to. But Ack, unfortunately, taking a fall to Moorworm, so both players taking at least one fall. See if he can get on his second try. Whoa. There we go. Easy fight. Second try every time. So now the question is, if you're Ack, what do? What do you go do now? Do you go... I would assume Meyer, Because I don't think Ack has been to Desert at all yet, so he might opt to just go ahead and do Mire, Checkerboard, pop into Desert afterward, something to that sort.
Yeah, I think he'll probably finish Mire for sure. Might do Checkerboard Cave, things like that.
And that looks like what he's going to be doing. Already got the hook shot out, so he's going to be diving right into Mire. And that's 2 more chests coming up, though, and we will get to see the lovely Master Sword Vitreous fight, unless that big chest in Mire holds the bow or a tempered sword.
Yep.
Sorry. Ack has been in Desert already. Never mind.
I expect, or there could be the use of some cape strats on Vitreous, which is...
I'd assume he'd go for the NMG deboost. He's got a ton of hearts.
Yeah, it's
red mails.
Very doable.
Kane O'Brien. What else we got in here? And a heart container, so he's got even more hearts for deboosting. And bomb upgrades. So Swamp's still not really showing... It's showing its true colors of being a awful dungeon.
Yeah,
but,
Swamp showing the traditional spread of, garbage.
Well, we still have the whole back half to check out. Let's see if we'll find anything back there. There's always a sword in the Swamp Palace. Except when it's not.
I always seem to find swords in Misery Mire. Specifically in the big chest, and it's really weird. Unfortunately, today it was just a big heart, but there you go. 17 hearts for Acktheboker right now.
Pretty good, all this.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, he's only got 4 extra, but still. Was there like 3 in T-Rock or something?
Yeah, something
Let's
like
find
that.
out what we got going on down here. 2 more chests and then 1 more on the way to Argy. Shovel? Money?
Can you dig it, Willard?
I can.
Good.
Yeah. I think so. Just a compass. Alright, well, the unfortunate thing is no sword. So, gonna have to do Master Sword strats on Argus, which isn't ideal. 2 slashes or 1 spin per. But Ack bringing out the cape. Can go ahead and use that. So, nice combination of both. If you got half magic, you might as well.
One of these days I'm going to mod the game to where the shovel is replaced with an industrial-powered backhoe. So we can just, take down entire swaths of land. Seems pretty good.
So, it does it like a 3x3 area when you use it?
Yeah. And then...
It's like when you upgrade your tools in, Stardew Valley or something?
Yeah. And then just imagine the shovel dash on that.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
hey,
well, there's the
that
T-Rock.
T-Rock key. Now the logic makes sense again.
So does Ack go immediately right back and take out Trinex?
But no, that was locked behind the T-Rock keys, so... Maybe there's another pod key out there somewhere. Or 2.
Oh, there's another pod key off of Argus, so...
Okay.
That brings us to 5 total. Did Ack already check? Ack didn't check...
Is it 5? I've only counted 4.
Well, that's our 5th one that we've seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because Ack hasn't done that one yet. I think Ack forgot to check Checkerboard. So, let's hope that's nothing important. Chauncey about to go check that shovel spot. That could lead to something valuable. Now our players are neck and neck. But going over here for different reasons. Ooh, is that another T-Rock or pod key? There's the last
pod.
It's the last one.
Okay, so that T-Rock key from Meyer is now in the logic, and everything makes sense again.
So, interesting. So the game wants you to beat Swamp Palace. Just to... So, by the logic, the game wants you to beat all of Swamp Palace at the end of dungeon.
Yeah, there's some silliness there.
Gross. Is this our first Batcave check?
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember if Ack did this or not. Small key 2. There it is! There's the last T-Rock small key.
Well, alright then.
Thinking, as Chauncey, you know, where do you head to next? I would go to T-Rock with 3 keys, but at the same time, Pod with 3 keys looks good too. And that looks like to be the play. So where the heck is that bow? Where is it? It's probably maybe it's at Trinex, I don't know.
Could be. Could be in Mimic Cave.
So the whole point of Swamp was just to get a couple pod keys. Now we still don't know what is on the pedestal. We also still don't know what's at Lumberjack. We need... What else do we... We just need the bow. I think that's it, right? We have all the big keys that we need.
Yeah, I mean, Chauncey will get the big key for Ganon's Tower, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The Fire Rod, he'll also pick that up once he goes to Turtle Rock. That may be what's holding him back from going to Turtle Rock, to be honest. He's not having the Fire Rod. Yeah, the bow could be it. Pretty sure that's... yeah. Now, I'd want the silvers, because...
Master Sword silverless sucks.
Correct. I prefer Tempered Sword silverless over Master Sword silvers, but...
it's not too bad. Especially when you have Cape and Half Magic.
Yeah.
So I guess by the logic, then, that this mirror was actually useful and required.
But, you know, if you've got some skill here...
Well, the question is, it depends on where the bow is.
Yeah, because there are 2 pod keys locked behind Swamp, so if you were absolutely unable to get the bow before going into pod, then yes, Swamp was required actually.
Yeah, we are going to be able to see that pod at Big Chest coming up from Chauncey. We didn't see that with Ack because he had skipped Tower of Hera. So this could be something big. I don't know if Chauncey is well-versed or comfortable or knows the hammer jump, but we'll keep our eye out in case he does. Big key 2... Oh, the Meyer big key was in here.
Yeah, that's why I was talking about the Meyer big key being locked behind pod keys.
Gotcha.
Alright, so we're just checking out the dark basement. Acktheboker going to be heading back to the good old Argus area. While we're kind of covering some stuff, I want to give a shout out to our tracker Dude for taking care of business for us today. Doing a great job.
Yeah, shout out to Dude. Because without a tracker, we would be very lost. No doubt.
More so than we normally sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, 1 pixel down. There you go.
Nice. Tempered Sword!
Nice!
That's extremely good to have.
And to be honest, I think if when Ack comes back in here, he probably won't even go for it.
Yeah. Assuming he's not coming back here until he has the bow, he'd probably just... If he's still looking for stuff, he might just do the... Well, he's out... yeah, we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, he might skip that, and it's a pretty good item to have. It's a pretty big difference in the Ganon fight. Or even just, like, boss fights in general between Master Sword and Tempered Sword.
Yeah, for example, this boss fight right here.
Mm-hmm.
You could get this done quite a bit quicker. A single sword slash as opposed to two.
Yeah, Ack doing a good job of optimizing his attacks. Hooking two at once and then doing the spin to kill him at the same time. It can be a little tricky, but it's really nice and nice use of the Fire Rod there.
Well done by Acktheboker, and that gets him that pod key.
So he is back up to 5 now. I would assume Chauncey is going to be heading to Mire now.
Yeah, that does seem reasonable. Tempera Sword? No, it's not a Tempera Sword. If it was a Tempera Sword, it would be tastier.
It'd be amazing if that Eastern Palace big chest was the bow the entire time.
Oh my god.
I mean, it wouldn't change too much, but it would still have been really convenient. But no one would ever go back to Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's the scenario that that's the scenario that lets Swamp Palace be unrequired.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, we're running out of locations to check, so you gotta be thinking pretty close that it might come down to that. I mean, it's no different than my seed yesterday where Hookshot was on left side swamp. That was literally the last thing I did, because it's like, there's no way it's gonna be in there. It never happens. And there it was.
Yeah.
But, speaking of weapon difference, this Vitreous fight for Chauncey is gonna be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's very true. You can get some really good and effective damage-boosted spins, or even just use cape strats with the Tempered Sword.
I've seen people use cape and dash strats, but that seems to only be useful with the Gold Sword.
Yeah.
Since spins don't do extra damage on the majority of enemies, bosses. And Ack going back in. He skipped the left side initially. Didn't get what he was looking for, so he's heading back in.
Are there any enemies that the Gold Sword spins do more damage on?
The Hinoxes, the bomb-throwing Cyclops dudes.
Interesting.
Yep.
I was unaware of that.
I think they're the only enemies, for some reason. As far as I've been told.
Ack is not getting the big chest because he does not have the big key of Swamp.
And we have no idea where it is, or if we'll ever find it. And because of how this seed is laid out, because we know where the GT big key is, this is going to be one of those double dip GT, get like Swamp Palace big key to come back. We just need to get into GT. That's the big problem here. So
yep, and we need that archery weaponry.
Looks like Ack now remember to go check checkerboard. We haven't seen this yet, so this could very well be our bow.
Yeah. I could definitely say that we are in bow mode.
Oh, for sure. He's probably a little disappointed that Swamp only netted him a pod big key. Or a small key.
Yeah, and another one if he checks the shovel location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is kind of the part of the seed where you're just checking all these single locations where it's like, please, just give me what I want so I could go play the game. And we got a map. All right. God. Where do we go now?
Skullwoods. No, he's been to Skullwoods. Dang it.
Yeah, all he has left at this point is
Chauncey who needs to go to Skullwoods. Sorry.
It's got to be T-Rock then. That's it. we've got...
Or Eastern Palace Big Chest.
Or Eastern Palace Big Chest. For Ack, though, he still also has Thieves Town Big Chest that he can go check. Which we've already seen.
Right.
So let's hope he doesn't... For his sake, let's hope he doesn't head that way. But he's going to get this and be like, oh, pod, why? Well, there's one thing for sure, is that we're not going to be seeing that Pyramid Fairy today. No doubt.
Yeah, that's very true.
Batcave check. Coming from... What do we get from there? We got a small key to someplace. T-Rock. That was the last T-Rock key.
Yeah, it's the last T-Rock key. Yeah, I think both players have cleared out as much of Desert Palace as they can.
And it looks like Chauncey was heading up Death Mountain, but realized he had skipped Checkerboard Cave, so heading back to go check that real quick. Yeah, Ack's got to be thinking T-Rock is the best play right now. It's the most chest-dense place at this point, as opposed to checking a bunch of single locations like Pod Big Chest, Eastern Palace Big Chest, Thieves Town Big Chest. He's got 2 items, and he gets a crystal out of it, so... Try next with a bow? Probably?
Could be. Could even be in that vanilla big key chest, which is really trolly.
And we haven't seen Mimic Cave either, so... Yeah, it looks like Chauncey's making the same play as well. Skipping out on checking Skull Woods to opt to go do T-Rock, but that makes more sense for Chauncey since this is their first time going to T-Rock. They're going to be getting the Fire Rod, which is on the Laser Bridge, as well as the G-Tower Big Key, which is in the very first chest on the left side.
Yeah, so Chauncey's going to have one major upside here in that he'll be able to clear all of Turtle Rock in one go.
Of course, Ack only has to go back through and check a couple spots, while Chauncey will have to full clear. But the sword difference is going to help out as well, not having to use like Ether Medallion to take out the Pokies, and then not having to use like hammer strats on Trinex. If he can get past these dang dead rocks.
Everybody wants to kill those squirrels.
If only your sword beams could also be like bunny beams, so you could turn enemies into little whatever the heck those things are.
Little jelly guys?
Yeah, the little goofy looking jelly dudes. It just makes me think of like Secret of Mana, how you have like a bunch of different spells that give your swords or your weapons different effects, like freezing effect, stone saber, sleep, put enemies to sleep.
Huh.
It's a good game. It's a good game. I highly recommend it.
I've played some of it. It's pretty good.
The remake just came out this month, so I've been catching a bit of that. But anyway,
neat.
We're going to be finding out what is in that middle chest coming up. Chauncey now picking up that GT Big Key. Ooh.
All right.
I don't think we're looking for any more...
Mothila's in the logic now.
I don't think we're looking for any more small keys at this point. Oh, Chauncey keeps getting hugged by the Stalfos. Trying to move forward, but keeps on getting knocked back. So it's all up to Trinex or Mimic Cave. If it's neither of those, then it has to be Eastern Palace Big Chest.
So how hard are we hoping for Desert Palace Big Key in one of these locations?
I mean, that would open up 2 items, 3 if you count the pedestal. I'm kind of hoping for boots, just because that also opens up more
Lumberjack.
Random locations, including Lumberjack, which we still have yet to see.
Yeah. It's interesting. They've gone to beat Aghanim, but still nobody knows what's on Lumberjack Cave. Beautiful.
Close. We're getting there, guys. One step at a time. All right, so Trinex, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, I think Acktheboker might have gotten shafted there.
Yeah, I'd say so. Now, I think at this point, Act does have a slight lead with having completed Swamp or Skullwoods already. Chauncey's going to be able to save a little bit of time here and there with that sword upgrade, and especially if Act never finds another sword upgrade going into the Ganon fight. But we got a little bit of ways to go before we get there.
I just hope that after picking up that arrow, it'll point him in the right direction.
A single arrow, please guide me on my way. No. Nice little double KO between
It's
Act
a
and
divination arrow, right?
Mini Helma. It's like the arrow that's on a compass. That's what it is. Wow, now I've seen that tactic used with a dash, but I gotta say, when you just walk it out, like that's just as hype. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I really gotta learn the strats for that room. Because I'm just garbage at it.
But let's see what we got going on with this Trinex fight. He's going to be using hammer strats coming up here. He does have half magic, so he doesn't have to worry too much about wasting shots. But this fight can get really annoying. It takes too long to take him out. Oh, and the fire out shot going to the right. Not being able to stop that fire, or that ice on the ground, but good pattern. Stuck in the right side corner, so he's going to be able to get all the hits he needs to take out this ice head.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he was able to hit start just as he made the final hammer shot on the ice head, or the fire head, to be able to switch to the fire rod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you get the lineup right, it's always 5 hammers on the left one. With that hammer. And that's why I like the Trinex fight. There's always different ways to fight him depending on what you have. But what do we got? It's...
Oh my goodness! I think we have to go back to Eastern Palace.
Oh my god. What? What? What do we do, game? But will Act go to Eastern Palace next? He probably will, because compared to going to Thieves Town Big Chest, he can check Pod Big Chest and Eastern Big Chest in one go. But this is getting pretty hilarious. Now, it's worth noting that we had that Eastern Palace Big Key
really early. It was in Back of Escape, I believe.
Yeah, so like less than 10 minutes in, maybe around the 10 minute. We had to really, began the scene. But it looks like Act's going to be going into that Thieves Town. Which I don't blame him. He's had that Thieves Town small key for a while, and if that ends up being the bow, then it's going to be even more convenient to go back to Pod Eastern, because then he can just finish it. But, which is good for Chauncey. Gonna give him a little bit more time. But this seed is nasty, dude.
Yeah, it ain't pretty.
Chauncey, fire rod in hand, gonna be taking on Trinex. I don't think we got anything of value in the right side. Oh, it was a pod key on the right side.
Yeah, there was a pod key. So,
so if he remembers to go back in and get that.
Maybe. I don't think Chauncey will necessarily need it, because he did do the hammer jump and he has 5 of them. But I imagine after picking up that fire rod, he'll be like, oh, I could go check the other thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be able to do that after killing Trinex pretty efficiently, actually.
I would assume that Chauncey's next move after this is going to be going straight to Skullwoods. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get that pedestal check. Because when Ack was there, he did not have the mirror at the time, so that's why we didn't see it then and there.
Yeah, without seeing the Desert Palace Big Key anywhere, it seems unlikely that you would care at this point. But maybe.
Well, let's talk about this. So either that Eastern Palace big chest is holding a Desert Palace big key, or it's holding the bow, or it could be holding the boots, and the boots lead to something, one of the other two in Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb.
Or it's holding Swamp Palace big key, and one of those things you just mentioned is in the Swamp Palace big chest.
Yes. Essentially, this is a full clear of the game. No way to look at it.
Yeah, basically.
And it's just because of how the routing went out, like, nobody wants to walk back. But here's the thing, I think Chauncey had the mirror, could have checked Eastern Palace big chest right after doing pod, but you don't want to have to go back in just for one item when you just need the bow. You're kind of banking on that not being the case, so.
Graveyard Ledge, I believe, was just 5 rupees.
Yeah, it was our blue herring. But John's going to pick up that pod key and the blue boomerang. Alright, well, this bodes well for Ack, assuming he checks that big chest. Now, if he goes into Eastern first, like he walks up here, mirrors going to Eastern first, then goes into pod, and that heads up being that the bow, he might miss out on that Tempered Sword.
Alright, so we'll get to see what Acktheboker will find here. Chauncey heading to Skull Woods as predicted.
Yeah, Ack has a bit of a lead at this point, but if he somehow, depending on what he does next, if he misses out on that Tempered Sword, could be a bit of a difference maker, and it looks like he's going to be heading right back in, so he'll be getting his Tempered Sword and solidifying his lead.
Yep, seems good.
I'd say at this point, it's a Cold Stare death difference.
Yeah, just about. Now, ChauncyJay, with 16 hearts and the Tempered Sword, as well as half magic, I don't see him having any trouble with the Mothula fight.
Nah, should be easy.
Tempered Sword makes Mothula really nice.
Nice quick hammer jump from Ack. Tempered Sword. Feeling good about that. Wishing it was a bow, but at the same time still happy with that purchase. So yeah, nothing left but Eastern Palace big chest. Guys, let's hear it. What are you guys hoping for? Do you want the bow immediately, and then we're just done? Do you want Desert or Swamp Palace big keys? Do you want the boots? What are you guys hoping to see here?
So I'll tell you, I kind of just want to see bow just because vanilla locations are hilarious.
Yes. Same here. Bow would be perfect. I mean, it's a bit of a walk, but overall, it doesn't really take that long to get back here. And if after ChauncyJay, though he will have to go back and check that other chest in the back section here, I think, unless he already did. Not going to be too far behind once he goes right back in Eastern Palace. And it's the bow!
The bow!
What a stupid game. Oh man, that's incredible. That's about right. That seems about right.
And we have achieved go bow mode.
So we could have had that bow before even doing Aga Tower.
Yep.
Because the gloves were in Paradox Cave and the Eastern Palace Big Key was in the back of Escape. But the hookshot was in the second chest of Eastern Palace, which is why both players, did everything in Eastern Palace and then never looked back.
Now that being said, you know what? Because the bow was in Eastern Palace in the big chest, Swamp Palace was officially garbage.
That is true. That
You
swamp...
could have done this without touching Swamp.
So does that mean that the mirror was completely useless?
Yep.
Oh my god. That's beautiful. I love that. But this is the thing, like, you can't route this kind of scenario in, because the chances of this happening are so slim. It's not like in the next seed you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go right back to Eastern Palace next time. And then it's like a compass or something. So this is just one of those rare moments where the seed just hates you. Now, of course, both players with Tempered Sword will probably be go-moding G-Tower. So we'll see if either of them decides to check a few chests along the way, looking for those silver arrows. But seeing as Ack is going to go ahead and skip these two chests in pod, it seems like he's probably going to skip any chest from here on out.
Yeah.
Both players very confident with silverless.
Sometimes checking a few chests in Gen's Tower pays off when you're looking for silvers. Just saying.
I'm actually really curious to see what was behind that. What was in those two chests in pod? Because you could have had bow the first time you came in here.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Like, what if boots are there?
Boots, another sword. So you could have had Tempered Sword, like, really early. I guess we'll never find out what was on Lumberjack. We're going to have to ask one of these two to, like, go back and check stuff afterwards. Because I just really want to know. Or I'll have Ack send me
I think it'd be cool if the silvers were on Lumberjack Cave.
That'd be cool. We'll never know. We'll never find out. Well, except in the credits. Doesn't the credits give us...
Not for Lumberjack Cave, it doesn't.
Aw. That's a bummer. Chauncey bombing the bow chest. It seems fair.
Seems legit.
Well, at this point, Ack still does have a pretty good lead going in, but our players are, at least in like inventory, health, all that stuff, are neck and neck. So it's gonna take some bad execution here on out for Ack to, or it could even come down to one of them checking an extra chest and finding silvers. Maybe. We'll see.
Or checking an extra chest and not finding silvers.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think... The only thing we skipped in this entire seed was, outside of GT, was Swamp Palace Big Key, or Big Chest, Desert Palace Big Chest, and Land Molas, and those two chests in pod. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And so, Lumberjack.
Right. And then, yeah. Did you mention, like, the bonk locations?
And those.
But that's because we didn't have the boots, so we couldn't get them anyway.
Right. So let's say, for these players, the only things that have been skipped are the two chests in pod. Because those are the only ones that they have access to.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I would recommend this play for runners of this caliber, but yesterday I found the silvers on the torch in Ganon's Tower, so just saying. That could be a thing.
I doubt we'll be seeing any of G-Tower Basement. If either player was still sitting on Master Sword, maybe. Yeah, we are past 2 hours and just now finally heading up to G-Tower. Okay, I was like, where's Chauncey going? Apparently they did not... I guess they went straight for the Eastern Palace play, but did not make the path through the pod, through the Dark World, and mirror in front of pod. So that's going to extend Ack's lead a little bit further from here on out. Bootless seeds are great, right? Gives you so much more time to like think.
Yeah. I mean,
so much,
I kind of like them.
So much more time to drink liquids.
But I'm the only person in the world who actually likes them.
You could even play whilst like eating like a sandwich in your right hand. It's very versatile.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's incredible that you could have skipped all of Swamp, all of the mirror locations. I think all of them. Maybe one of them was useful? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, and it looks like Chauncey's gonna go ahead and check the Bowlock section anyway.
Interesting. This could be important.
At this point, though, it's not going to be any sort of difference maker, whether it's Gold Sword or Silvers. But it will be good for us because we get to see what's up here.
Yeah, Swamp was required by the logic, but by people running this game at this level, not at all.
Oof. Bombs and rupees, not very exciting.
Just a load of garbage on the right side of pod there.
So yeah, for here on out, it's all execution, and see how this goes for Ack.
And it looks like Ack is the executioner today, so.
No silvers, so probably gonna have to opt to do tempered spins and fire rod to take out land molas too. And let me use some bow strats here. Down to 10 arrows, and going even lower.
Yeah.
But you don't really need arrows if you don't have this. If you're not planning on using the silvers.
So I remember seeing a strat from you on land molas involving waiting around, getting the putting the powder on the bunny beam, and then waiting a little bit so that they all spawn at the same time, and then spinning all three.
Yeah, that one's fun, but it only really works efficiently if you have the gold sword. Tempered sword would work, but
yeah, I mean, don't tempered sword spins and gold sword spins do the same damage?
Right, but usually you do the spin to hit them all once, and then a slash to try and hit them all again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to hit them twice with a spin.
Yeah, so you'd only be able to get a spin and then one slash, so they'd still need a couple more hits.
Did you find the arrows in Swamp Palace? What?
Excuse me?
The big key in Ganon's Tower and the silvers in Swamp.
Oh. Just getting poked right at the last second is so frustrating. Going up the gauntlet without the boots is just frustrating in general.
Probably best thing to see would be, did you find the arrows in Light World? Which would mean Lumberjack Cave.
Oh, man.
I think.
Alright, Chauncey grabbing his last crystal. We'll be heading up to G Tower. Ack almost finishing up the Gauntlet tour. Gonna be fighting Molderum 2 pretty soon. Taking a fall there, but doesn't matter. Has plenty of time to get around. Opting to use the hook shot just to make sure he has plenty of time. A misuse of hook shot, losing some extra time, but still plenty of time. And opting to wait just to avoid any potential despawn. Looked like he had enough time, but it's not worth the risk. Oh, gonna go ahead and check these chests. And there's the second Meyer key.
Yep, that tells you that the stuff on the left side of Meyer was 100% not required.
Yeah.
I mean, which we know because we got it. Whoa, there they are!
Wow, that's so nice. Well, good call for Act, checking those.
Arrows in the chest before Moldorm. Very nice.
Got his buck net too.
Willard, did you make this seed?
Of course not. I'd put Bugnet somewhere where nobody could get it.
What? Wasn't that what you did in that one seed?
What one seed?
Put the Bugnet there.
No? I don't know. No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, never mind.
Alright, let's see this Acktheboker fight. I'm so mad he's not opting to use his brand new Bugnet that he just found. Wow, this is a very nice pattern. Despite taking a hit,
Feels
still getting
good.
that. Oh man, 3-2. Looking like a 3-2-1 to me. Nice. Very well done.
Get wrecked, tagging him.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about. Had Act gone into Eastern before diving back into Pod, he probably would have missed out on that Tempered Sword, but then would have been bailed out by the Silvers at Moldorm 2. But we'll never know. And it looks like Chauncey's going to go ahead and check a couple chests in G-Tower.
Yeah, looks like it. Probably just these two, and maybe he might look at the torch, but it wouldn't do him any good.
Might not be 100% comfortable with Silverless. I don't know.
Yeah. So one thing I saw earlier today was somebody went down to check the first 3 little available things down there. The Tempered Sword was on the torch, by the way, which was ridiculous. And they used the door in between to check them because they had enough keys to go up the tower.
That makes sense. That's pretty smart, yeah.
All the way on to phase 3 already for Acktheboker.
Pretty quick, pretty standard fight. We'll have the luxury of taking him out even quicker with Silvers. Doesn't even have to worry about torch glitch or anything. Let's see if he gets a double and or a triple. Why, yes, I did! Thank you, Ganon! Going for the double here.
Well done, and that'll do it.
Very nice fight.
4 arrows, and he's down.
As soon as Zach walks through that door, he will be the victor of this race and will be moving on to 3-1. Chances of that top 8, or at least that tiebreaker race, staying on the line. Congratulations to Acktheboker, fetching first place with a time of 2:12:55.
Well played, Acktheboker. So let's see if we can say something to him.
OMG, indeed. Ugh. That Eastern Palace big chest, my goodness.
But yes, even with all that trolling, still a major, there's not a whole lot of time separating these guys.
Yeah, I think, because, Chauncey still had some nice, full clearing T-Rock in one go, getting the mirror earlier. They all made the same plays. I think Chauncey might have had a little bit better of routing. That Cold Stare death did cost quite a bit of time, and then just a few slower options later on. So
I believe we have been joined by Acktheboker. Congratulations, Zach.
Thanks. Good game. GG.
Way to survive that, garbage fire of a seed.
Did at any moment you consider going back to Eastern Palace after you got the big key?
I think when I got the big key, I kind of told myself I hope nothing's there because I'll probably never check that chest. Because, there was no reason to go back. Maybe had I not been, really dumb with my routing and getting the mirror so late for no reason, I maybe would have considered it, but I don't know. It really would have depended on what I had, but I routed very poorly. I forgot a lot of things for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, we were curious the choice of T-Rock over Tower of Hera when he could have done both.
Yeah, that was one of the things I forgot. I was just kind of neglected the fact that, a hammer could have got me over there. And then, I could have done both. And then I could have not forgotten the powder, too, and gotten the extra Turtle Rock key and could have finished Turtle Rock while I was up there also.
Mm-hmm.
It was really gross.
It's interesting to think about. As far as we know, that mirror was not useful at all. I mean, by the logic, it was required because you need 6 keys to beat Pod. But had you guys gotten the bow early, you would have been able to do the bow route and then hammer jump to beat it with only 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would have been a lot better, that's for sure.
Yeah, but nobody came anywhere close to going back to getting that bow. You were the first one to find it, and then Chauncey came in just a few minutes behind you.
Yeah, I didn't have anything left at that point.
We were actually kind of wondering how it would go down, because if you had routed into Eastern Palace prior to going back into Pod, you would have gotten the bow, and probably a good chance you would have not checked the big chest in Pod, which had that tempered sword.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I just chose Pod first because I'm already in the Dark World, and when you're in Pod, you have to mirror to the front anyway, so it made a little bit more sense.
Yeah. Chauncey had, since Pod Big Key was on Moldorm, got to check that the big chest early, so we saw that tempered sword and we were like, oh man, Ack missed that. I wonder if he's gonna go back and get it anytime soon.
All right. Yeah, that would have definitely made things interesting, and didn't know I was gonna find silvers upstairs either. So
yeah, that was a nice find. We're also still wondering. I don't think either of you ever checked Lumberjack, despite doing Aga Tower.
I was gonna check it once I found the boots. So I mean, what's the point of knowing what's there if I can't get it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All the boots stuff just completely out of reach today. Sadly.
They're probably sitting somewhere in G Tower or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, you're moving on 3-1. Just got next round to get a win there, and then you'll be partying up in that tiebreaker race. How are you feeling about your chances after this seed?
Honestly, as I was playing this seed, I was just thinking to myself, I don't really mind losing, then I just won't have to play Keysanity anymore, because I was not having too much fun this go-around on this one. It was just really stressful and annoying of all the things that just slipped my mind and how impactful I, noticed that they were.
Yeah. I mean, when you get to the point where you're just looking for 1 or 2 more items and all you have is a bunch of newly unlocked single locations, it can be really stressful.
I had 1 chest in every dungeon. It was 1 chest in Eastern, Hera, Pod, Swamp, Skullwoods,
exactly.
Easttown. I was like, all right. But I didn't get trolled by the Ice Palace big chest, so I suppose I should think positive. It was a good day.
Yeah, and one of the bigger difference makers, because I feel like ChauncyJay had better routing than you overall, especially with the Tower of Hera play. Though they did not go to T-Rock after Tower of Hera.
Right. They actually managed to complete Turtle Rock, check all 12 chests on their first go, because they had all 4 keys.
That didn't surprise me.
But taking a death at Cold Stare was very costly.
Yeah, that really hurts. Did they come back or do it immediately?
They immediately went back in and fought Cold Stare.
Oh, so they had magic then.
Yeah, we were curious because he had a blue potion. I almost want to say he had 2, but didn't use the second one. We'll have to ask him about that. But other than that, I mean, it was all pretty straightforward. That was I'd say the biggest mistake of their routing or their play. So
yeah, but I could definitely understand that. I mean, I was not going to be surprised losing this one at all, just with how poorly I routed. So but yeah, a Cold Stare death, that's a lot of time. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you found the mirror a little bit before me too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were both going up. I think you were in T-Rock at the time, and Chauncey went straight to Ether Tablet, got the mirror, and then went into Tower of Hera, which made... I think, yeah. So it made their pod even more efficient as well because they got to mirror out instead of teleporting or walking or whatnot. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that that mirror was 100% useless except for just like convenience of routing, but it didn't lead to anything. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, I would have rather taken that mirror early and full cleared a worthless swamp than getting it that late, and then also still full clearing a worthless swamp.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, ChauncyJay, one more hit on Ganon, opting to use Silverless strats?
Yeah, I think he's just doing Silverless for no reason.
Just goofing. Well, he used Bugnet on Aga too, so...
Wait a minute. Do Silverless... I thought that the silver arrows didn't actually use the health counter. Because he used some silver arrows, and then he started doing Silverless hits, and he didn't have to do the full 12, so that's interesting.
I think he did 3 arrows and then 2 spins. Or 3 spins? Yeah, I don't know.
Well then, I have been misled.
We need to bring up the practice hack and take a look at that. But anyway, ChauncyJay coming in second place with a time of 2:20.58. Fortunately, them dropping them down to 2-2. So their chances of making it into the tiebreaker race are gone. But they do still have one more round next week to continue participating in this fun and fantastic Keysanity tournament, which has been a really great showcase of all the things that this mode can give you. And, but after a seed like that, you kind of just want to put it down for a while and go play something else. I heard Entrance Shuffle's pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking like an entrance shuffle tournament should probably like happen, I don't know. If tomorrow's too short notice, that would be preferred by my opinion, but you know, just whenever.
We've already had one of those. We need like a swordless next.
Swordless,
I mean, entrance Keysanity tournament, right?
Yes, please. Entrance Keysanity, Randomizer, you can throw them all in there.
Yeah, let's just do like a multi-category tournament where every single round you just roll to see which game type you get. So it's different every round.
Isn't there one of those coming up?
There's one right now that's a Super Metroid multi-category tournament.
I think there's a 2v2 one that's coming up of that particular multi-category thing.
For this game?
Yeah, that Ursula's trying to organize.
Oh, neato. That could be wacky. It's like our daily races over on Speed Gaming, except in a tournament setting. You never know what you'll get. Yeah, let's see if ChauncyJay wants to join us in here for a quick chat. Sitting in the setup room, I'm going to bring him down. Welcome, Chauncey. GG. How'd you feel about that one?
That was an interesting seed.
Now, I asked Ack, and I'll have to ask you as well. Did you have any thoughts of going immediately back to Eastern Palace after getting that big key in back of his cave?
Absolutely not.
Of course.
Right. It's like, well, the seed is, especially with Keysanity, you need so many more things to go. Well, you need 2 more keys, but if you get those, it's basically like, hey, you're going to do Aga. So it's like this one chest out in the middle of nowhere, or Aga in the entirety of the Dark World. So I picked Aga in the entirety of the Dark World.
Yeah, that's okay. You guys both made all the exact same choices, to be honest. I was asked though, Chauncey, because you did have the mirror the first time you went into Pod. We were kind of wondering if you were going to mirror and go check that chest in Eastern Palace.
I thought about it after I had already left and decided that I still would have made the same decision because, like, it's a pretty big gamble to go into Eastern specifically looking for the bow. It could have been the fire rod as well. I think those are the only 2 items I was looking for at that point. But I think the chances of that are so low in comparison to where there are other things, and I could route it in later if it is like fire rod or something, and I end up getting the bow. So
it would have been, as an option, it would have been still faster than going back and checking the Thieves Town big chest, which both you guys did do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, it's like there's no way there's going to be a bow in there. Oh, look, a bow.
Oh, hey, look at that.
How nice.
The whole vanilla items thing just really trolls the snot out of you every time.
Can we get for the customizer, can we get a toggle that says no vanilla items? So like, there's not an option. There's never going to be an option that you're going to get a vanilla small key in the dungeon or something. Doesn't even have to be like in the same like chest, just in that dungeon entirely.
So you're looking for a required derangement mode?
Sure.
Yeah.
Conversely, can we get a switch that says at least X vanilla items?
I always thought that the best plan, though, would be every progression item is vanilla, but the rest aren't, so people still think it's randomized.
That's hilarious.
Terrible. But yeah, that seed was the very first item you guys both got out of Link's house, being the Castle Tower key. I'm assuming both of you immediately thought, I'm going to go do Ag at some point, probably.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious at that point. I kind of held off and escaped because I was like, I'm going to end up going back there anyways. I know there's something there, be it Dark World access, but like without the mirror, then I'm looking and I'm like, I have like 14 hearts and blue mail. Like I'm never going to death warp anywhere, so I guess I'll just save and quit the whole game.
Yeah, that was kind of the unfortunate thing about how late the mirror was and how early the two males were. So death warping was never really ever an option.
Yeah, I actually had the opposite thought at the beginning. I wanted to, because I thought we were going to have to do AGA, I think that, I wanted to escape on the off chance that I would get the items that could set me up for that and just immediately go and do it and try to get an advantage that way, but it didn't end up working out. I did get the flute pretty early, though, which was nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's always a nice routing option. When you guys both got into Paradox Cave and you saw the glove and the moon peril, were you like, oh, please, let there be a hammer in Spiral Cave?
No, I knew we were going to AGA. There wasn't a doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get early hookshot and then flippers or glove, it's like, I'm going to be hookshotting across that broken bridge.
Yep.
Question for Chauncey. For the most part, you guys both routed. I'd say I'd give Chauncey, if this was Mario Party and we were handing out bonus stars, I'd give Chauncey the bonus star for better routing in the seed. But overall, I have a question. Did you have a second blue potion for that cold stare fight and opted not to use it, or would you just have the one?
I did. I am just extremely greedy. I actually had two more, I think.
I think you had a green and two blue.
I used the green so that I could buy an additional blue because I had I had like $700 or something. So I had two more blue potions. I'm just that greedy.
You were trying to clutch it out on one heart.
Trying to clutch it out, yeah.
And you were close. Yeah. I think you were a frame or two away from getting that spin-off, but the ChauncyJay spin-off. But Cold Stare had another thing for you. But aside from that was like the big one mistake that kind of set you guys apart. Only an 8-minute difference, and a death at Cold Stare costs what? 3 minutes? 4 minutes?
Something like
minutes,
that.
Yeah.
So Willard, do you know what the pitch is for the ChauncyJay spinoff?
I'll have to work on that. We can talk about this afterwards. Yeah, it was a fun race. It was good watching both of you guys struggle to find that dang bow. We were kind of wondering if the big chest in Eastern was going to eventually have the bow, or if it was going to have like the Desert Palace big key or the Swamp Palace big key, or even the boots, just something that would send you on another quest. I was 100% expecting the Swamp Palace big key into boots. But that would have been bad, but a vanilla bow, 100% vanilla bow is even funnier. Agreed. But yeah, GG's to both you guys. Ack moving on, 3-1, still has a chance for that tiebreaker race. ChauncyJay falling to 2-2, still has one more round to go next week. And getting a 3-2 record in this tournament is still something to be very proud of. That's what I'm aiming for. So, at least. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be playing out the last round. This has been a lot of fun, except Keysanity is very hot or cold, I guess. My experience has been mostly cold, unfortunately, but I've seen quite a few fun seeds.
Yeah, it's definitely a high variance category. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Speed Gaming 4. GG's to both of our runners. If you guys enjoyed watching them, feel free to support them in any way you see fit, whether that's a Twitch follow or whatnot. Thank you guys for joining us and for letting us commentate your race.
Thank you for the commentary.
Yeah, thank you for the sweet commentary. I'm gonna go back and watch it and cringe when I died at Cold Stare.
It happens. Also want to give a big shout out to, of course, the dude for rocking it out on Tracker. And of course to my co-commentator, Dr. Bob Taston, for letting me join him on this fantastic journey through the land of Hyrule.
Absolutely, and very much thank you to Willard J. Bradley for putting up with my awful puns, and and
it was an honor
to commentate this race.
And of course, a big thank you to all the folks at Speed Gaming for putting on the show. And speaking of, coming up at the top of the hour, so we got a little bit of time, we do have a Super Mario Sunshine tournament race going to be on this channel at 8 o'clock Eastern. So, but for more Keysanity action, I believe everything right now until later tonight is going to be on the other channels, including A Link to the Past Randomizer and A Link to the Past Randomizer 2. So if you want to go watch some more Keysanity, you're going to have to head on over there. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was a pleasure. And see you in the next one.
See you later.